Hey, it's Hadar, and this is the Accent Sway. Today I'm going to teach you how to pronounce the top 10 words in education. Let's begin with education. You start with an S sound and then it's a J sound. It is not a D sound. There is no D here. It's a J as in judge, as in Germany. J. The next vowel is an as in cook. Primary stress right after is K, and then you drop again to shun. It's a schwa, so don't pronounce it as shion. It is not French. Education. If it's difficult for you to pronounce the as in cook in the second syllable, then just drop it to a schwa. Education. Academia. The first sound is the A as in cat, and then it's a K sound. A K and a schwa. Ak. So it's not aka. Ak. D. High E. So pull your lips to the side. And then another high E, but a little lower in pitch because it's not the primary stress. Academy. And then it's a Y sound and another schwa. Y. It's like you're very cool about it. Y. Academia. Student. Start with an S sound and then stop it abruptly with a T. And then open it up to an U as in food. Stew. The long U sound is a transitional sound, so you hear it forming up as you pronounce it. Stew. Ooh. So bring your lips forward at the end. Imagine like you have a little W. Stew. Don't add any vowels at the beginning, not a student. No, start with a long S, move on to the T, and then it's a long U sound. Stew. The second part is That's kind of a weird sound. That's because the D, the N, and the T blend in together. For all three consonants here, the tip of the tongue is up. So basically what you're doing is you bring the tip of the tongue up for the D, you make a D sound, but you don't release it. You just release it through the nose, so you don't drop your tongue. And then the N is held abruptly by the held T at the end. So it's student. If it's too difficult, you can release slightly the D. Student. So either student or student. Both are okay. Use whatever feels more comfortable. Pedagogy. It's a P sound at the beginning of the word, so it's aspirated. So it feels like there is a little H after. Pedagogy. Then you drop your jaw for the as in red. The second syllable is D. It's a D sound and then a schwa. Because the D is between two vowels, it's a very light D. Pera. The next syllable is go, as in go away. So you have a G sound and then a long O diphthong. So make sure you start with an open O and then close it to an U, as if there is a W there. Go. Pera, go. And then it's a J sound and a high E. G. Pedagogy. I have heard people saying pedagogy with the as in father, so both are okay. You can either say pedagogy or pedagogy. The next pair is thesis and theses, singular and plural. To say the word thesis, you start with a TH sound, so make sure you stick the tongue out and release air. Allow the air to pass, otherwise it's still going to sound like a T. Thesis, the, and then push the tongue forward for a high E, pull the lips to the sides a bit. The. The second syllable is sis. An S sound, not a Z, it's not thesis, but an S, a relaxed I as in sit, and another S at the end. Thesis. You can also drop the second syllable into a schwa. Thesis or thesis. That's the singular form. To say the plural form, change the second syllable into a high E sound and a Z at the end. Theses. theses, theses. See as in I see you, sees as in he sees it. Theses, thesis and theses. Syllabus, it's an S sound and the I as in sit. Si, that's the primary stress, so it's going to be higher in pitch than the rest of the syllables. Si, the second syllable is an L sound and a schwa. L, L. The L is a little heavy, so you want to engage the back of your tongue a bit. L, but don't make it too heavy. Sylla, and then it's a B sound, a schwa, and an S. Syllabus, syllabus. To say the plural form, you want to end it with by, as in bye-bye for now. Syllabi, syllabi. You can also say syllabuses. No one's going to kill you. Syllabi or syllabuses. Curriculum. Curriculum. You start with a k sound and then a schwa. K, k. A k sound is also aspirated at the beginning of a word, so there is a little h after. K, k. The primary stress is the second syllable, an R sound, and the I as in sit. Re, re. Round your lips for the R, pull the tongue in, and make sure your tongue doesn't touch anything. So it's not kere or kere, kere. The next syllable is a k sound, a y, and a schwa. Curricula. Y. Don't skip the y sound. Curricula, it's a y as in yes, and then a schwa. Curricula, and then an L sound, make it a little darker by engaging the back of your tongue, a schwa sound, and an M. Lum, lum. Curriculum. A lot of schwas in this word. Curriculum. Graduate or graduate. Both the noun and the verb are spelled the same but pronounced differently. Let's start with a noun. A graduate. For example, a high school graduate. You start with a g sound and then round your lips for the R and lift the tongue up. Grrr, and then it's the a as in cat. Gra, gra. Then it's a j sound, again a d that sounds like a j as in giraffe. Gradu. Don't forget to round your lips at the end, close them up nicely to a W sound. Gradu. And then for the noun, we finish it up with a schwa. Ut. Graduate. In between you have a sound that sounds like a W sound. Graduate. What. The verb ends with ate. So again, it's spelled the same, but the verb turns into the A as in day. So the beginning is the same. Graduate. Graduate. I'm a high school graduate, or I need to graduate high school. Methodology. You start with an M sound and then it's the as in red. Me. Me. Then stick the tongue out for the TH and drop your tongue down right after to a schwa. Meth. You want to make sure that air passes between your tongue and teeth so it doesn't sound like a T. Meta. Metha. Then the primary stress is a D sound and then the as in father. Da. Drop your jaw, relax your lips. It's not methodo. Methoda. Both vowels here are not an O sound. One is a schwa, one is the as in father. Methoda. And then the suffix lg is an L sound and then a schwa, l, a G sound, j, and then a high E, lg. As in anthropology, geology, and methodology. Campus. I love hanging around the campus. Campus. It starts with a K sound and then it's the A as in cat. Push your tongue forward, pull the lips to the side, and drop your jaw. Cam. Because there is an M sound right after, the A sound is a little milder. It's a little stretched out. It's not a pure, strict A sound, as in the word cat. Listen to the difference. Cat, cam. If I were to pronounce it the same, it would have sounded like cam. cam. Sounds a little British. In American English, when the A appears before a nasal sound like an M or an N, we stretch it out. It's like we're adding an S sound before or a schwa sound right after. Cam, cam, as in camera or campaign. Cam, cam. The second syllable is a P sound, a schwa, and an S. Pis, pis, pis. So it's not an U sound, it's not campus or campus, it's campus, pis. Make sure that you do stick the tongue forward for the front vowel A, cam, and you don't centralize it to something like compass, compass, because then it will start sounding like the A as in father, and that's already a different word, compass, compass, campus, compass. That's it. These were the top 10 words in education. If you liked it and you want to practice it, you can download a list of all of these 10 words. You'll get a PDF sheet with the words written out phonetically and also an audio of me saying these words with examples in sentences. And the only way to change your pronunciation habits and learn the new pronunciation is by repetition, so you can do it with the audio drills. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please share this video with your friends, your students, your teachers, and anyone else that is curious about education like me. Also, let me know in the comments below which word was completely new to you. And if you have other suggestions for more words, write them in the comments below as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week in the next video. Bye.